Hi, my name's Andrew Keeping, and I'm going to ask you the question, are you in the market for a 4-channel microphone system, a UHF microphone system, wireless, so you can use this on stage for presentations, interviews, live conferences, ideal for church environments, and absolutely brilliant for schools with assemblies or productions? That's where you'd use one of these. And I'm going to review this, the Phenyx Pro microphone system. Let's see how good this is. The box, you get the 4-channel UHF wireless receiver with 2 antennas, 4 UHF wireless handheld microphones, a power adapter, 1/4-inch audio cable, user's manual, 8 AEA batteries for long hour operation. It's made of a sturdy metal construction for quad-channel UHF wireless microphone receiver and a high sensitivity unidirectional handheld microphone suitable for heavy use. It's got a high quality dynamic cartridge and is specifically engineered to limit feedback and interference, picking up the sound smoothly and then transmitting it hassle-free. The rack mountable metal receiver features 4 XLR outputs and 1 1/4-inch audio output jack. It can auto pair with transmitters for plug and go easy setup, and you can also order separate body pack transmitters if you so wish. You will need to connect this system to an extra audio equipment like an amplifier or a speaker or to output the sound. It's got up to 260 foot and even more operational range in wide open space in a line of sight. Even with multiple walls and complicated environments, it can achieve more than 180 foot reliable operation. This is a fixed frequency system and only one unit can be used at the same time. You need to make sure you keep the receiver away from Bluetooth or other digital devices such as cell phones, jukeboxes, DVDs, etc. to avoid the potential sources of interference. And the other technique I would recommend is don't face the microphone near the receiver too closely to avoid feedback and static. They have a long battery life, more than 16 hours, continuous use with the original batteries included in the package. When the battery is low, the LCD screen on the handheld mic will turn red. One of the things I really like about this, I know it sounds like a silly little point, but it's relevant to me. I like the little free gift that they supply, because whenever you place a microphone down, I've seen it happen so many times, and that's why I'm impressed. So let's just imagine you're putting the microphone down, the amount of times people put it down and you bang the end of the microphone. This just prevents that, and it can sit on the side ready for your client to come and pick up the microphone and put it back down again. Silly little thing, color coded as well, so you've got your orange and you've got your blue. I think that's a really good idea, actually. In addition to that, what do I think of the mic? Well, it's a really sturdy metal construction, and I think it's, again, obviously it's emulating itself on the Shure Beta 58, and I like a heavier microphone. It feels comfortable in the hand, it feels solid, it feels professional, and it feels high-end, and I think that's a really good move. It also would probably stand more durability, really, because of its construction. What I also like is that you can take XLR cables out. It's versatile, so you can get your XLR cables going straight into a mixing desk. From there, you can do your EQ, you can add your compressors or any other external devices that you need, and then you can mix the overall sound. Alternatively, what you can do is just come straight out of here. You've got jack that comes out and it's your mix out, and that can be plugged into a single amplifier or a single sound system, and you could just plug and play. This is what is so versatile about this, and I think that's a really clever idea. Okay, so we want to really test this out so you can hear what we're dealing with now. And I've plugged this into my AER amplifier. I've not put any reverb on it. I've just kept the volume at a standard level. It's going through the input, which is the 1/4-inch jack input. And it's coming from the mix out of the whole system. So I'm demonstrating how this works really well, not just going through a major PA system, but it goes through a very decent amplifier as well, and this is guitar amplifier. Now you can hear some of the sibilances, the pop, 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 and that's picking up quite a few frequencies. Now if I move the microphone a little bit further away, that works much better, and again, it's about microphone technique. So sometimes you can have people talking quite closely like that, and you'll get their breathing. But again, when you're talking at a distance away from the microphone, you get a better frequency, and we can actually increase the level and the dynamic volume, and I can again adjust that on the actual unit itself as well. So you wouldn't have the sibilances provided the microphone's a little bit further away. And again, that's something that you can instruct the people that are using the microphones. A lot of people have mentioned the restrictions of set frequencies. Now, that can be an issue for some people, particularly if you've got a lot of frequencies in your room, a lot of external devices taking up frequencies, and that could mean that you get some dropouts. Now, in all the time that I tested this in every environment, granted there wasn't a lot of people around, but I had mobile phones on, I had other things going on as well, and also you've got external devices that are still picking up frequencies in the churches and in the conference centres that I was testing this in. And it didn't get a dropout at all. And that really was good. I like the fact that you can also, if you're doing karaoke, if I'm on the mixing desk here and I've just plugged straight into a sound system, I can control the volume of each microphone depending on who has the better sound and who doesn't, or who's shouting louder. But I can do that with the karaoke setup here. Now, each microphone corresponds with a particular frequency. So this one is 561.60. So here you can see we've got 56160. So that's picking up this one. And that microphone would work perfectly well. And you can have all four on different frequencies. So therefore you don't have the interference. And that's why this system works well. So what other competition is there out there? I've mentioned that I've used quite a few of these over the years, and some of the top end ones like the Sennheisers and the Audio-Technica. You've got the Shure, but then you've got quite a lot of the really cheap ones that are promoted on Amazon as the karaoke versions. You've got the GTD Audio, you've got the Vocal Star, which is a really poor one. You've got Deposhang as well, which I have to say I wasn't very impressed with when I tried that out. The Chord is okay, but the microphones themselves sound cheap. Their frequency isn't full-bodied in that lower to mid frequency, and that's where you want the resonance of the sound, the full-bodied sound. So if you've got an actor, or if you've got somebody on stage that doesn't really know microphone technique, this still gives a full sound. And that's what I liked about this. The microphone itself, the sound quality of the microphone was very impressive. I'd also be interested to see how this competes with the Tonor TW820. Some people say that one of the cons with this is the on-off button. And the microphone on-off button is actually here, tucked away underneath the screw here. I haven't actually had a problem with that. I think I quite like that, rather than it being on the front where I can accidentally knock it, or if you've got karaoke people knocking it, turning it on and off. You're not going to get that here. You need to know where that microphone is to be able to turn it off. And again, when you're using the microphone, and if you're using karaoke, you can turn down all the other microphones and just focus on the one that they've got. Something that I have noticed and confused me at first was if I turn the microphone off, the screen goes, and yet you can still see the black sign underneath with exactly what frequency you'll be using, and then you turn it back on again and it's highlighted. At first I thought that was because it wasn't turning the microphone off, and then I realized that actually it's a stencil underneath, and it's not, you think that the microphone's not been turned off fully, but it has. And I've tried it because you take the batteries out, it's still there. It's just a stencil. It's to tell you what the frequency is that you're using. So don't be confused by the charge on the battery on this. So in summary, I've tested this out for the last couple of weeks, even within the restrictions of our COVID lockdown, but it's given me the opportunity to go into empty churches, theatres, concert halls. I've gone in and even had my own karaoke party testing these out. And I have to say, at this price point, I'm really impressed. My obvious experience of using a wide variety of microphones and audio equipment gives me a greater perspective by way of comparison, and I must say I'm impressed. It holds its own with some much more expensive pieces of equipment, and it's considerably better than many of the other similar price points. So if you're a pub or a club and you're looking to present karaoke nights, I think this is a great buy. 4 microphones, 1 unit, brilliant. If you're a church that needs multiple mics for your congregation to save passing the microphone around from one to the next, you have 4 different people in your congregation being able to use 1 microphone each. But if you're a school and you need to be able to have different presenters for an assembly, or you're doing a school play, or you're doing a production, again, these work very well. I actually set a system up in a school local to me, and they already had ordered in a 4 microphone system by Cord, and I set it up for them, and this is leagues ahead of that. So, you know, that's a real plus in my view. Now, in addition to that, if you're a wedding venue and you need to be able to have the celebrant with a microphone, you need to have maybe a performer, a singer with a separate microphone, or you want to be able to have for the speeches, for the readings, anything like that. Again, this is a really good, affordable piece of equipment. If you're a conference centres, I see this working really well for that. I did a production recently where it was a launch of a new charity, and we had multiple personalities on stage being able to talk at the same time. And the difficulties of passing microphones around to different people, whereas if you can be located on the stage and everybody have their own microphone, it works brilliantly. Conference centres have that all the time and need that. They've got their own sound system. This works perfectly well going through into the sound system. So if you're in the market for something like this and you think it could add value to your organization, I really strongly recommend this. And so much so that I've actually put it on my Amazon page as a highly recommended product. And I don't do that lightly. I will certainly be keeping my eyes peeled for Phenyx products in the future as well, because I have been impressed with this. So I hope that's helpful to you. If you have found it helpful, then click the like button and subscribe. I have lots of other videos that I do of reviews, tutorials, interviews, all manner of things. So please come and join our little community here, and I look forward to seeing you next time. All the best.